So Odisha temples are done. Now we are going to move to Chhattisgarh, okay, and read about the Chandelas of Khajuraho. Okay, so what kind of temples they have built, what is the structure of the temples and stuff. Okay, see, don't think that I'm teaching a little too much in depth. Okay, it is required for UPSC. It is required for UPSC. By having a look at the previous year questions, you will understand. Okay, all of these things are being asked exactly the way that I'm teaching. They are being asked. Okay, so and my curriculum is based on the previous year questions. I don't have any book. Okay, I don't take a book, take all of the content from the book and keep it in the slides and come to you and teach. There is no book. It is on previous year questions. Okay, one question comes, then immediately the content will increase. That is how I usually do. Okay, so this is required, and you also should prepare in the same level. But okay, over the past 2 years, okay, only in the past 2 years, the number of questions from art and culture, they have come down a little in preliminary, because they are giving more number of questions from ancient and medieval. Are you following what I'm trying to say? So they have come, it has come down by a little. Okay, it has come down by a little. So that's the reason why, okay, you should give a focus on this, but you will get only 4 or 5 questions. Earlier it used to be 10 questions in preliminary. But mains to paka 1 or 2 questions will come from art and culture. So it is present for both prelims and mains. Now the next section is the Chandela school. Okay, and it is also a very good example of the Nagara style. And originally there were 85 temples, and today we have only 25 remaining today. Okay, the rest of the temples, they have been destroyed. And of these temples, the Chausat Yogini temple, okay, Chausat Yogini, the 64 yogic deities, okay, I have talked about this temple once before, is present at Khajuraho. It is a symbol of tantric cult. Then apart from that, okay, there are temples of Parshvanath and Vishwanath. Okay, Parshvanath and Vishwanath both are Jain Tirthankars. It means that some of the temples in Chandela school are also Jain temples, and they have been constructed by a king by the name of Danga. Okay, king by the name of Danga. And the most prominent temple is this one, which was constructed by Vidyadhara, which is known as Kandriya Mahadev Temple. Okay, Mahadev Temple or Kandriya Mahadev Temple, very, very famous temple. Okay, we will mainly focus on this temple. Okay, this temple's architecture is very important for us, and they patronized both Hindu and Jain architecture, and it has been constructed by Vidyadhara. Okay, Vidyadhara, the name also is important here. Now, when it comes to the features of this temple, all the standard features of Nagara are present here too. Okay, all the standard features of Nagara, cruciform plan, okay, the beehive structure, Shikara, all the features are present. Okay, and there is homogeneity across the temples in this group. Okay, it means that if you take Mahadev temple, you take Vishwanath temple, okay, all the temples, they look exactly the same way. There is a lot of homogeneity across the temples. You write this down. Homogeneity across the temples in the school. Across the temples in the school. The base plan of this temple is rectangular. It is a prolonged rectangular. This way the temple will be. Okay, prolonged, protruded rectangle it is called. Protruded rectangular, running from east to west. And this is a compact and unified structure. Compact and unified structure. And all the parts are interconnected. And all the parts are interconnected. A compact and unified structure it is, and all the parts are interconnected, unlike the Odishan temple. You remember the Odishan temple, I told you that they are present at different places, but this is a compact and unified structure, and it is constructed on a very high platform which can be accessed only through a stair of steps. Stair of steps, and on mandapas you have the same pyramidical. Piradiyula there, and here also there is pyramidical. I'll show you one image and I'll explain the features directly. Okay, this is the image of the Mahadev temple. Kandriya Mahadev temple, this is the image. Okay, when it comes to this temple, okay, see this, it is constructed on a high platform, and the high platform can be accessed only through steps. Okay, and this temple, it has this structure which is known as open balcony structure. In order to, for the light and okay, the wind to air to come in, okay, they have this open balcony structures. Open balcony structures, this is the second important feature. Third feature is, okay, we have the Shikara, okay, beehive Shikara, Amalak is there, Kalash is there, and the Vrishringas are very prominently seen in this temple. Okay, Vrishringas, you see, the vertical projections, they are clearly shown. They are also like smaller Shikaras which are present on the sides. You following this? So Vrishringas are also seen. Then along with that, there is Garbhagriha here, and there is a enclosed circumambulatory path, Pradakshina path around the temple, complex Garbhagriha. Okay, and the platform, okay, the lower platform is called Jagati. Okay, sorry, Jagati is the upper platform. Adhisthana is the base platform. Adhisthana is the base platform. Then along with that, okay, you have the Antrala, okay, vestibule. It cannot be clearly seen, but it will be present between the Mandapa and the Garbhagriha. Okay, vestibule. That yes. Okay, then apart from that, we have the Mahamandapa, Great Hall, Mandapa, and Ardha Mandapa. Three things are there. Mahamandapa, Ardha Mandapa, and Mandapa. Three things are there, and the peak on these things is pyramidical. Pamasana style. Yes or no? It is not Shikara, but it is Pamasana style. So these are the typical features of this temple, and it also has these things called transepts. These are niches. Okay, transepts are niches. In the Karnataka temples also, you will be able to see this transepts. Okay, if you go around the temple, in some places there will be some bracketed niches. Okay, where the image of a god is placed. Okay, when you do the circumambulation, you will see, right? Okay, so that you will not forget God while you are while you are doing the pradakshina. The images of God are regularly placed on the outside walls. Okay, which is known as a transept. So this way, okay, the transepts are built. These are the features of this temple, which is known as Mahadev temple. Just have a look at the features. Okay, same things I have given. Open halls are present. Outside and inside ornamented with rich sculpture. Unlike Konark mein only outside sculpture is there, not inside. Then there are multiple shikaras, and shikaras have a crowning disc. There is no boundary wall like Odisha style. There is no prakara wall here. Okay, this is important. There is no prakara wall. Sculptures both inside and outside. Then highly stylized sculptures with the sharp noses, prominent chin, long slanting eyes and eyebrows. Long slanting eyes, eyebrows, along with sharp noses and prominent chin. Okay, all of these things are present as part of these temples. Okay, in fact, these temples, they are infamous because of the sexual imagery which is present on them. Okay, you might be knowing that the Khajuraho temples are known for the sexual imagery which is present on them. And when the Britishers, see, these temples were lost to the general public. Okay, they were present inside of a forest. Indians forgot about these temples just like they forgot about Hampi. No one knew about Hampi, right, earlier? Okay, when the Britishers discovered these temples, they started saying that Indian religion seems to be, okay, very, very barbaric. It is uncivilized, uncouth. Okay, because what they are doing is they are celebrating, okay, the sexual rights. Okay, they started looking down upon Indian religion basically based on the imageries which are present on this Khajuraho temple. Okay, based on the images which are present on this Khajuraho temple, they started looking down upon Indian religions. Okay, saying that, okay, you people are seem like barbarics. Okay, spirituality is something which is different from, okay, the material things in life for the Western world. But in India, okay, on the temple walls itself, these sexual imageries are placed. So why is this done? Okay, there was a lot of criticism of Indian religions. But the thing is, okay, the Western conception of spirituality is very narrow. Okay, for the Western world, spirituality and religion starts where human life ends. But for Indians, spirituality is integrated into human life. It is completely integrated. We don't have a separate conception of spirituality. Okay, we don't see spirituality and the normal life as two separate aspects. Okay, so what happens is the Indian spirituality, it celebrates life. It celebrates life. So that is the reason why all the life forms, okay, all the life forms, all life activities, all of them are depicted on the temple walls. Okay, this is the uniqueness of the Indian temples. Then along with that, sexual rites are also very close to the tantric cult, and they are also an inspiration for these sexual images. So this way, the sexual images are placed on these Khajuraho temples. Okay, so don't take it as something which is obscene. Okay, it is not obscene. It is not obscene. Okay, it is part of Indian culture. It is part of Indian culture, and it says that very clearly that life should be, okay, seen in all its perspectives. You should not have an exclusive view of life saying that, okay, only God should be there. Okay, this kind of celibate life is not something which is thought about in India. Life is celebrated in all its forms. So that is the reason why they have placed the sexual imageries. So this is the story of the Khajuraho. Okay, so this is the Chowsat Yogini temple, 64 yoginis. Okay, this way. Small images there placed, Chowsat Yogini temple. And this is Khajuraho sculpture. Okay, very good sculpture. Okay, very good sculpture. These are the images. And okay, this information is important. When Muhammad of Ghazni invaded India, Al-Biruni, he talked about the Khajuraho temple. He was impressed by the Khajuraho temple. He talked about the Khajuraho temples, group of temples of Chandelas he talked about. Al-Biruni. Okay, this idea is important. Al-Biruni, who is Al-Biruni and stuff, I'll discuss later. For other people, I think I have already talked about Al-Biruni. Remember. Okay, for people who have attended ancient and medieval classes. Kitab al-Hind. Yes, I have talked about him. Okay, he also observed these temples. Next style is known as the Solanki style. And when it comes to the Solanki style is present in Gujarat and Rajasthan region. okay, Gujarat and Rajasthan region, and okay, it is also known as Marur Gujjar style. Marur Gujjar style. Marur Gujjar style also it is called. And this style of temples, okay, they are present at two places, in fact, three places. One is in Rajasthan, that is the Dilbara Temples at Mount Abu. Okay, you might be knowing about Mount Abu. It is the tallest peak in Aravalli. Okay, among the Aravalli hills, it is the tallest peak. In Rajasthan also, it is the tallest peak. Okay, Mount Abu. So it is a very famous place, and there are Jain temples which are known as Dilbara Temples. Okay, Dilbara Temples of Jains. Then they also constructed some Hindu temples too. The best example of which is the Sun Temple at Modera in 11th century. Sun Temple, which has been constructed by this person called Bhimdev I. Bhimdev I, he constructed the Sun Temple. Then along with that, we have the temple at Somnath. Somnath Temple, the most controversial temple in India. Okay, at one point of time, before Ayodhya, this was controversial. Okay, before Ayodhya, this was controversial. So Somnath Temple is one. Then the next temple is Somnath, then Modera. Along with Somnath, Modera, there is one more temple which is present at, okay, which is known as Ranika Vav. Okay, the well of Queen. Ranika Vav is the next temple. Is the next temple. So this way there are some temples. First we'll talk about the Madurasan Temple, very famous. And the most important feature of this temple is it is the only North Indian temple which has a temple tank associated with the temple. Usually temple tank or Pushkarani is part of South Indian temples. Okay, Pushkarani is part of South Indian temples. Every South Indian temple has a tank to it. I think I have talked about this. But it is the only North Indian temple which has a tank to it, temple tank, which is known as Suraj Kund or Suryakund. It is called as Suryakund. Suryakund. And the most important aspect of this temple is only on the day of equinox. On the day of equinox, sun's rays fall directly on the central shrine. Sun's rays fall directly on the central shrine only on the day of equinox. Equinox. Then when it comes to the features of the temple, it has a Garbhagriha, Antral, Mandapa, same thing. Okay, all of them are well interconnected. There are ornamented pillars. Okay, these are the chief features. Okay, see, this is the image of Suraj Kund or Suryakund. It is accessed through a stair of steps. Then this is the central structure. It is well interconnected, just like the Khajuraho temple. There are pillars. Okay, open porticos are there. Almost the same features. Nothing is different except for this Kund. Okay, all other features are the same. Are you following this? Okay, so this is the story of the Madurasan Temple. Then the next temple is the Dilbara Temples. When it comes to Dilbara Temples are Jain temples. Jain temples, they are influenced by Nagara style. Nagara style, but the uniqueness of these temples is they are flat roof from outside. Okay, there is no shikara for these temples. There is no shikara for these temples because these are built during medieval times, and during medieval period, okay, because of the Islamic invasion, okay, some people who wanted to construct temples, they wanted to hide the temple from public view. Okay, because if the shikara is constructed, it will be visible from quite a distance. Okay, then people will get to know that there is a temple there, and there is a possibility that the temple gets destroyed. So that is the reason why in medieval period, in some places, okay, one is this, that is Dilbara Temples. The other one is there is a school called Hematpanti School of Yadavas of Devagiri. Only in these schools we find this shikara-less temples. There is no shikara for these temples. Shikara-less temples, and the outside of this temple is completely serene. Okay, there is no ornamentation. Whereas the interiors are, okay, are very much ornamented, and this is a temple which has been constructed in marble. Okay, and marble, it lends itself well for carving. Okay, because it is a soft stone. Okay, it lends itself well for carving. So it was carved very well, and the interiors are very well decorated. And there is this feature of decorated ceiling. Okay, the ceilings are highly ornate and decorated. There are multiple number of images, okay, which are present inside of the temple. It is very, okay, in the inside, not even a centimeter of space is wasted without carving. Every centimeter, every inch of the interiors is carved intricately. Okay, you will be shocked to see the insides of the temple. Okay, it will have the shape of almost, it looks like a cake. Okay, that kind of carving is there. Okay, cake-like carving is there in the interiors. So this way, okay, this temple, it has, okay, example, Dilbara Temple, which was constructed during the time of Solankis. It is made of white marble. simplistic exterior and sculpted interior, no shikara, characterized by low roof, highly ornamented pillars, and circular and highly decorated ceilings. Circular and highly decorated ceilings. In fact, this is constructed by the ministers, okay, but not by the king. Okay, there are Jain ministers, I don't remember the name, Vastupala and Tejpala. Okay, write the names down. Vastupala and Tejpala are the ministers of Solankis who constructed these temples. Tejpala and Vastupala. Okay, the next one in a Solanki style is more important, that is known as, okay, this is the interior of the temple. Ornate pillars, decorated ceiling, okay, thickly ornamented interiors. You can see the faint image of the sculpture. Yes or no? Okay, this entire structure is built in marble. See the ceiling. Okay, the next one is Rani Ka Vav. Okay, Rani Ka Vav is a very famous temple. Okay, and this has been constructed. In fact, this takes upon the tradition of construction of Vav is well in Gujarati. Vav is well, and there were numerous stepped wells in Gujarat. And based on this tradition of stepped wells itself, this temple has been constructed. And this temple, okay, it has been constructed in a form, okay, of an inverted temple. It looks this way. Inverted temple. This is the ground. Ground level is this. Okay, it looks this way. Inverted temple. Okay, and the inversion, it is to the tune of 5 floors. This is the brilliance of this temple. Okay, 5 floors in depth. Okay, 5 floors in depth, and it is an inverted temple structure. It is an inverted temple structure that has 5 floors to it. 5 floors to it. See, this temple, it is constructed around a natural well. Okay, at the bottom we have a natural well, and after that we have 5 floors, and then the ground level comes. And this well, it is lost, okay, for modernity. No one knew about this well. There were some excavations which were conducted, and okay, this, in fact, this entire well is filled with sand. We didn't know about the existence of this well. Some archaeologists, they started digging it here. Okay, then they understood that this is an inverted structure temple. It is an inverted structure temple, and it has been built by, okay, the queen of Bhimdev. Bhimdev is the person who built the Madurasan Sun temple. His wife, by the name of, what is his wife's name? Udayamati. Okay, Udayamati, she is the one who constructed this. And it has been given the UNESCO World Heritage Site tag in 2014. Okay, it is very well known for its stepped corridors, sculptures, stone carvings. Okay, stepped corridors, sculptures, and stone carvings in the well. Most of the sculptures in the well are devoted to Lord Vishnu. Okay, most of the sculptures in the well are devoted to Lord Vishnu in the form of his 10 avatars. Okay, and this is known as Marur Gujjar style. I already talked about it. Okay, this is how it looks. This is how it looks. Okay, inverted structure. Okay, this is the ground level on top. Okay, I think there is one more image. Okay, that is the image. Okay, this way. It is a truncated thing to ground level. Okay, it means that on top it is broad. As you go towards the ground, it gets truncated. And in center you have a well. This is known as the famous Rani Ka Vav temple. Okay, this is how it looks. It has all the mandapas. Okay, it has temples or garbhagriha. It has everything. It has standard temple features. All of them are followed in this inverted temple too. Okay, this is considered to be a wonder. This is considered to be a wonder. Okay, now the next feature of this temple is inverted temple. Okay, I think I have talked about it. 7 levels of well. Then it is on the banks of river Saraswati. And sculpture is similar to this Mount Abu temple, Vimalavashai temple. The temple's name at Mount Abu is known as Vimalavashai temple. And Sun temple at Modera, the sculpture is almost the same. Okay, is almost the same. And in total, there are 212 pillars inside. 212 pillars which are intricately carved. Okay, and when it comes to the carving, okay, some of the carvings, they are similar to the patola design. You remember the patola design? What is patola? Patola? Silk textile from Gujarat is known as patola. Okay, so the carvings, some of them, they are an inspiration for later development of patola too. Okay, patola style. Okay, I think you know it, right? In South India also, some of the temple pillars, they have designs for saris. Okay, sari designs are standardized and placed at placed as pillars in temples. Okay, the best example is the Lepakshi Temple. Okay, Lepakshi Temple, Vijayanagara. Okay, later day they have constructed it. In fact, Lepakshi was a center of textiles at that point of time. So what they did is, for the posterity to remember what kind of designs were being made, they made the temple pillars in the form of design of a sari. Okay, the same style was followed in Gujarat too. Patola style, whatever designs were there, they were replicated on the temple walls, so that people will not forget about these things. Okay, in Lepakshi, I think Lepakshi is a major center for weaving this, what is it called? Pattu saris. Okay, silk saris are there, right? Okay, so that pattu saris, so there also the designs are made on the temple pillars. Temple pillars. Okay, so here also they made the same patola designs, and these are some of the sculptures which are present on the temple walls. Okay, that is Varaha Murti image. Yes, Varaha Murti image, patola image, lattices, geometric patterns, all of these things are there. Now next one is Ahom. Okay, Ahom dynasty is the next one. This is fine. Are you people able to follow what I'm trying to say? Okay, the next one is Ahom. And when it comes to the Ahom dynasty belongs to Assam region, right? And the most famous temple of Ahoms is the Kamaka Temple. Kamaka Temple. And they also follow, okay, many of the Nagara features, but they have some uniqueness to them. Okay, some uniqueness to them. And this uniqueness is, okay, you see this, they have followed two styles which are known as Hatmet style and slanted roof style. Hatmet and slanted roof style. Okay, you highlight those things, and these are inspired from the Thai tradition of Upper Burma. Okay, Thai tradition of Upper Burma. Upper Burma is close to Assam. So from there they got inspired and they constructed the temples in this format of Hatmet style and slanted roof style. Okay, and they also have, they are brick built structures. They also have the design of terracotta plaques. That is an inspiration from Palas of Bengal. Okay, from Palas of Bengal they have taken this terracotta plaques. You remember Nalanda? So the same style they have taken from there. And the most important one is this Kamaka Temple, which is a Shakti Pita, built in 17th century. Around this temple. Okay, 17th century. You see the image of the temple, then you will understand Hatmet style. Okay, this is a slanted roof style. Are you getting it? This is known as the famous Bengali roof. Okay, write this down. Slanted roof style is known as Bengali roof style. Bengali roof style. And okay, this structure you see, it is almost looking like a dome. It is not a typical Nagara Shikara, right? This is known as Hatmet style. This is known as Hatmet style. Bengali roof and Hatmet style. Okay, the reason being, usually Bengal region and northeast, it is affected by heavy rainfall. If a flat roof structure is constructed, then water can stay on top of the wall and it might lead to the destruction of the temple. So what they did is they constructed things which are slant roofed, which is known as Bengali roof. And Hatmet style is the circular Shikara style. Okay, almost circular Shikara style. This they followed. And in fact, this Kamaka Temple, there is a Mela, okay, which is conducted annually here called Ambu Bakchi Mela. Very important. Ambu Bakchi Mela. Ambu Bakchi Mela. Okay, read about this Mela. Read about this Mela. And usually during this Mela, only females are permitted to enter into the temple. Ambu Bakchi Mela. Okay, just like Shabarimala temple only for males, this temple is only for females, only if for a few days. For a few days in a year, only females are permitted into the temple. This is known as Ambu Bakchi Mela. Okay, now brick built terracotta lakes, and along with that, okay, the capital of Ahom dynasty, this is very important. There are three capitals: Cheraidio, Karagaon, and Rangpur. Cheraidio, Garagaon, and Rangpur. In fact, whatever information that I give in history with respect to Northeast India, it is automatically important. Okay, I have three capitals: Cheraidio, Garagaon, and Rangpur. Rangpur, three capitals. In fact, in Assam region, before the Ahoms, what was the ruling dynasty? Any guess? Huh? Chinese. No, not the Chinese. What is the ruling dynasty before Ahoms? Okay, the earlier ruling dynasty is known as the Varmans. The earliest ruling dynasty is Varmans, and their capital was a place called Pragyotispura. This is very important. You can ask a question on this. Pragyotispura. Pragjyotispura is nothing but today's Guwahati. Pragjyotispura. Pragjyotispura, which is today's Guwahati. Okay, Varman's most prominent ruler was Bhaskar Varman. After that only, it has been taken over by the Ahoms. Okay, next one is, okay, you just remember this key term, that is Maidams. They also used to construct tombs for the Ahom aristocracy, which is known as Maidam. Maidam is the tomb of Ahom aristocracy. Next is the Kashmir style. When it comes to the Kashmiri style, it is a mixture of Nagara style and the influences from China and Northwest India. Northwest India is from the Greeks. They have taken inspiration. Okay, China and Greek inspiration. Chinese and Greek inspiration is there in the construction style of Kashmir. Okay, mix of Western influences, Guptan style and Chinese style. Chinese style, you're right. Okay, and most of the temples are constructed with wood. Okay, rather than constructing with a stone, they construct temples with wood because wood is a better retainer of heat, right? Yes. Okay, that is the reason why in cold places usually, okay, in US also many houses are constructed with wood. Okay, wood constructions. So they are also wood constructions, but not stone constructions. Only a few are stone constructions. And they also followed this strategy called pitched roof strategy. Okay, pitched roof is this. Okay, pitched roof, because snow should not stop on the roof. So what they do is they construct the temples in this form called pitched roof format. Okay, you see the pitched roof here. Yes, so pitched roof format, wooden buildings with a pitched roof. And okay, one important example is this temple called Pandretan Temple. Okay, and this temple is constructed in the center of a water tank. Water tank ke beach mein, okay, they constructed this temple, which is known as Pandretan Temple. Pandretan Temple, and okay, it also has a peaked roof slanting outward. Okay, there is one more temple called Martand Sun Temple, and there is one more temple called Avanteshwara Temple and Pandretan Temple. Three temples are important: Martand, Avanteshwar, and Pandretan. Okay, Pandretan. These three temples are important. Martand Temple is the temple of sun god. Okay, I have shown it earlier, right? So these are the three important temples, and all of them, they have the same structure almost. Okay, Pandretan Temple is constructed in the between a water tank. Okay, this is the temple, and you can access it only through a bridge. Okay, it is surrounded by water on all four sides. Okay, all four sides, Pandretan Temple. Then, okay, here, okay, you read, there are some more examples for this. The ancient Hindu Kashmiri temple is a rectangular quadrangle built in the center of an open courtyard surrounded by a range of cells on all the sides. Okay, this I'll show you. This is one more temple. This is the Martand Sun Temple. This is the Martand Sun Temple. Okay, in this temple, this is the central structure, and it is surrounded by a wall. And this wall, it has, okay, numerous cells where people can reside. Okay, just like the South Indian temples, even if you go to Halebid and Belur also, Prakara wall, it has rooms on all the sides. The same method is employed here too. It means that the Prakara or the surrounding wall, it has small cells in this format where the pilgrims can reside. So this is the Martand Sun Temple. Okay, did you watch this movie called Haider? Okay, in that movie, this temple is shown. Okay, there is a song in which this is completely picturized in the same temple. Okay, very, very famous temple, Martand Sun Temple. And here, it has an arched entrance. This is very important. This is unique. Okay, it has an arched entrance. Okay, till now we never talked about arch, right? Okay, first time using the word arch here. Okay, arched entrance it has. Okay, pyramidal. No. The pillars were in the Greek fashion, which is known as a Doric style. Okay, what these styles are, I'll talk about later. Okay, the pillars are present in the style called Doric style pillar, which is an inspiration from Greece. Pitched roof in the center of a water tank. Okay, open courtyards, center mein temple, cells on the sides. Okay, so these are, and most of the temples are wooden constructions, but not stone constructions. And the three important temples are Martand, Pandretan, and Avanteshwara Temple. Okay, these are the examples of the temple, and this is the Kashmir style of architecture. Kashmir style of architecture, and the next one is Dravida style. So in Nagara style, how many styles we have talked about? First Gupta, then after that we went to Odisha, then Chandela, then Ahom, after that Kashmir. So 5 styles we have talked about in Nagara style. Okay, all of them have some common features. And see, if they ask a question, whatever specific thing is there, you write it in the start, first 3-4 points. After that, you write all the typical features of Nagara style, it will become a right answer. Okay, peculiarities are just 2-3 points. They can be asked as a prelims question too. That's the reason why I have given the peculiarities first, and rest of the features are exactly the same. You getting this? Next one is Dravidian style. In Dravidian style also we'll follow the same method. We'll talk about the broad features which are common for all Dravidian temples. Then after that we'll go to the specific examples like Pallava, Chola, Pandya, okay, Vijayanagara. Okay, all of these are Dravidian temple construction styles, temples. So first we'll talk about the broad features. When it comes to the broad features of the Dravidian style of temple, okay, the first and foremost we have a Garbhagriha which is in the shape of a square Garbhagriha, but not a cruciform plan. And on this Garbhagriha we have a pyramidical structure which is known as a pyramid structure. It is not curved, okay, it is in straight line, and it is having a capstone in this format. Okay, it is having a capstone. I'm sorry, pyramid, it can be drawn a little better. Okay, this is how pyramid looks like. Okay, on top of it we have a octagonal shikhara. This is how a typical South Indian temple looks like. Are you getting this? This structure this is known as Vimana. The pyramidal part is known as Vimana, and the capstone is known as Shikhara. Are you getting this? Okay, so square plan. On top of this square plan we have this. Okay, this is the central aspect of the temple. Then the other features of this temple is, usually most of the temples are huge temple complexes. They are not single temples. They are huge temple complexes, and these temple complexes are surrounded by a prakara wall. And inside this temple complex we also have temple lake which is known as Pushkarani. Okay, apart from Pushkarani, okay, these temples also have a circumambulatory path. Pradakshina path is there. Okay, then apart from Pradakshina path, there are numerous mandapas which are distributed here and there in the temple. Here and there are distributed mandapas, and most of the mandapas have a flat roof. Unlike North India. In North India, mandapas have a pyramidical roof, right? But here there are flat roofed. All the mandapas are flat roofed in structure. And here, when it comes to this South Indian temple, in this prakara wall, okay, in various places, okay, there will be some entrance gateways. A big wall is constructed. Naturally, there is a need for entrance gateways. Okay, just like the Vedika and Torana. Here also they have started the process of entrance gateways. And in order to designate these entrance gateways, what they did is, on these entrance gateways, they have constructed big pyramidal structures which are known as gopuras. Okay, gopuras have usually a rectangular base. Unlike Vimana, gopura has a rectangular base, and on the base of rectangular base, usually a pyramidal structure is built this way. And on top of it, usually we have a vestibule. Okay, horseshoe shaped top will be there, and on this you have filials. This is what is known as gopura. Okay, I'll show the image, then you'll understand it better. Just like the Karkadiyul, you remember? Vestibule shaped top is there. Okay, same way here also, the gopuras have a vestibule shaped top. Okay, vestibule shaped top, and it has a pyramidal structure. Whenever you go to a temple, you see these features. They are there. Okay, these are known as the gopuras. The entrance gateways are known as gopura. Entrance gateways are known as gopuras. Okay, now we'll have a look at the temples. Now, when it comes to the Dravida style, in Dravida style, initially there were some rocket temples during Pallava period, and these rocket temples are known as rathas. Okay, I'll talk about them later. Then there are some freestanding temples, and freestanding temples have a Vimana with a square base. Okay, you write the square base, it's not given there. Square base. Then Shikara is there. Then apart from Shikara, we have Mandapa. Okay, Mandapa, Maha Mandapa, Ardh Mandapa. Okay, there are n number of mandapas. Okay, n number of mandapas like Rang Mandapa is there. Okay, then Kalyan Mandapa is there. Okay, all of these are n number of mandapas are constructed. And there is temple tank which is known as Pushkarani. Temple tanks which is known as Pushkarani. There will be Antrala, same thing. And there will be subsidiary shrines just like the Panchayatana style. Okay, one god, okay, plus 4 subordinate gods. Similarly here also there are shrines for subsidiary gods. There are gopuras which are a rectangular base. There is prakara wall. Okay, and in some temples there are temple chariots. Okay, some mandapas are constructed in the form of a chariot. Okay, the best example is Hampi. Hampi, we have a mandapa which is constructed in a chariot format. Okay, so then apart from that, we have Dwarapalas in temples, okay, which is unique to South India, and Vesara style also we have Dwarapalas. Then temple complexes, and usually the pillars are ornately decorated in South India. Ornately decorated in South India. These are the typical features of a Dravida style temple. I think you have understood it, right? Okay, now we'll go to the specific examples. Okay, so this is a temple complex. Okay, Dravidian layout. This is Gopuram. Okay, Garbhagriha will be there. Vimana will be there. Okay, these are the subsidiary shrines. Mandapa is there. Water tank is there. Yes. So this way the temples are usually constructed. Now you see, first we'll go to Pallavas. Specific examples we are going to. And in the Pallavas, there are rock cut temples and freestanding temples. Both the temples are there. The rock cut temples in Pallava period are known as Rathas. Okay, Ratha is the name which is given to a rock cut temple in Pallava period. Okay, there are caves to right, which are known as Mandapas. Okay, they are known as Mandapas. But after caves, they have this format of rock cut temples which are known as Rathas. And the most important example of this Ratha is the Panchapandava Ratha, which is present in Mahabalipuram. Mahabalipuram, Panchapandava Ratha is the most important example. Most important example for Rathas. Okay, and these Rathas, the characteristics of Rathas I have given, they have barrel vaulted roof or shala roof. Okay, barrel vaulted roof. I'll show you how the barrel vaulted roof looks like. They have pyramidal profile. Okay, from side, if you see, they look like a pyramidal profile. They have octagonal shikara and they are multi-story. Okay, I'll show you the image of Panchapandava Rathas. Okay, this is the image of Panchapandava Ratha. This is the image of Panchapandava Ratha. I think there is one more image which is more, yes. This is more clear, right? Okay, these are all rock cut temples. It means that there was big boulders at the place, not mountains, but out of these boulders, these temples have been constructed. See the barrel vaulted roof, how it looks like. Are you able to understand how barrel vaulted roof looks like now? Okay, then they have pyramidal profile and they have the shikara too. Is the shikara, octagonal shikara is there? You're getting this? Okay, pyramidal profile, octagonal shikara. Some have this shape. Okay, and in total there are Panchapandava Rathas are 6 in number. In fact, they are named as Panchapandava Rathas later. Okay, there is no central image in these temples. Okay, no one knows what the intent or which gods were prayed to. Because they are 6 in number, okay, they named them as Panchapandava Rathas with 1 for Draupadi. Okay, so that's how the name has come to this Rathas which are known as Panchapandava Rathas. Panchapandava Rathas. So this is the image of Panchapandava Rathas. Very important and interesting image. Next, after Panchapandava Rathas, if you see, the next one is freestanding temples. And when it comes to freestanding temples, okay, in the city of Mahabalipuram itself, we have nearly 40 sanctuaries. 40 sanctuaries. And in the city of Mahabalipuram, there is a big bas relief structure which is known as Ganga's descent. There was a question on Ganga's descent once. Okay, Ganga's descent, there was a question, which is also known as Arjuna's penance. We'll talk about it later in sculpture too. Right? But I have given the image. Just see this. Okay, more, but the image is not clear. Is it clear in your thing? No, it's gone. Okay, I'll show it in sculpture too. Okay, there is a big rock. Okay, with a central cleft. Cleft means a break in the center. And this rock is known as the rock of Arjuna's descent or, sorry, Arjuna's penance or Ganga's descent. Okay, Arjuna's penance or Ganga's descent. It is a very famous rock sculpture. Okay, bas relief means, bas relief sculpture is sculpture which is not 3D. It has only 2 dimensions, that it is known as bas relief sculpture. Okay, engravings are bas relief. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? On the wall itself, it's you. If you make some chipping and if you create a sculpture, then it is known as bas relief sculpture. If it is 3-dimensional, then it is known as a complete sculpture. If it is 2D, then it is called as bas relief. Okay, on temple walls, usually we see that, right? Okay, most of the images. Let's take the example of elephant images in Ahlebir and Belur. Okay, they are emerging from the wall. Okay, they are not attached there like sculpture. Okay, they are emerging from there, which is known as bas relief sculpture. Okay, bas relief sculpture, and here this is also a bas relief sculpture. I'll show the image later in sculpture and I'll discuss about it. What is this Arjuna's penance or Ganga's descent? But it is also present in Mahabalipuram. Then along with that, okay, after this, what they did is they went for freestanding temples. This is the Ratha format, and this is a freestanding temple. This is a freestanding temple. Okay, and the freestanding temple there are two groups. One is known as Rajasimha and the second one is Nandivarman group. You write these names down. Freestanding features you write it. There are two groups. One is Rajasimhan and the second one is Nandivarman group of temples. I'm absolutely sorry. Okay, I might have infected the entire class. Okay. All I know. Okay. It was in the first wave, people were afraid. Okay, when a person sneezes. Okay, but now no one is concerned at all. Okay, I remember distinctly during the first wave itself, I went for a shopping complex in Hyderabad. Okay, there, okay, I was trying to buy something and suddenly I sneezed. Okay, there were one daughter and mother, okay, adjacent to me. Immediately they started running away from me. Okay, so that was a fear which was there in the first wave. Okay, but now no one is concerned. Okay, it's done. It's done. Okay, it's a farce now. Okay, COVID is a farce. No one is concerned. Okay, very surprising times we are living in. Okay, I think even our parents or grandparents' generation never saw this kind of circumstance. Okay, first time. A unique situation that we are facing. Everyone is shocked. Okay, again now they are talking about third wave. Okay, but I hope so that this third wave will have a very short lockdown. Okay, I don't think that there will be a long lockdown in this third wave, but they are going to lock it down. Okay, they usually start with the weekend lockdowns, but they are going to do it. Okay, they are going to do it. So be mentally prepared for that. Okay, don't think that suddenly a lockdown has come and fallen upon us. Okay, not that way. That is going to come. Okay, but in last wave, it was surprising. Okay, second wave, it was surprising. No one knew that it was so intense at that point of time, and suddenly it came. Okay, out of all the things, our institute was worst affected by COVID. Okay, what can we do? Okay, so now see this. The features are Rajsimha is large and Nandivarman group is small group of temples. Okay, Rajsimha and Nandivarman group of temples. Now, when it comes to the features, they have square massive pillars. Okay, pillars is an important factor, and rest of the features are almost the same. Okay, and the pillars are made with ornate bases and full capitals. This is important. Ornate bases and full capitals. It means that the bottom is designed, top is also designed. Bottom and top both are designed. And there are engravings on the exterior too, which are known as Dwarapalas. And the best example for the freestanding temples are Shore Temple and Kailasnath Temple at Kanchi. Shore Temple at Mahabalipuram and Kailasnath Temple at Kanchi. Don't get confused. There is a Kailasnath Temple in Kanchi too, which is known as a freestanding temple. Freestanding temple. And these temples have multiple vimanas. This is important idea. Okay, not one vimana, but they have multiple vimanas, and they have gopurams, and they have independent sculpture too. I'll show the image. Okay, these are the multiple vimanas. Yes, two vimanas are there. Okay, independent sculpture. Can you see? There are images of bull. Okay, here and there. Then along with that, there are some images of lion, elephant, tiger. All these images are present here and there. Okay, but if you go and visit there, these images, they are eroded away because of the continuous impact of sea. Okay, continuous impact of sea, they are eroded away. So this is the scenario. This is the scenario of temples, Shikara. Okay, are you understanding the octagonal Shikara here? Shape of octagon, then pyramidal profile. Yes? Okay, so these kind of things. Okay, this is a descent of Ganga image. It's given clearly here. See this? There's a cleft in the rock. Okay, break in the rock. And on both sides, there are a freezy of images. A lot of things are happening. Okay, a lot of things are happening. And here, okay, there is a solitary image of a person who is doing a penance. Okay, I think this one. Okay, a person is doing a penance. Penance means meditation. Okay, without eating, he is standing and he is doing meditation. He's doing meditation, and because of his meditation, okay, Arjuna's penance or descent of Ganga, it is called. Okay, if this image is considered as Bhagirath, then it can be considered as descent of Ganga. If this image is considered as Arjuna, then Arjuna is praying for the sake of Pashupata Astra, okay, to Lord Shiva. Okay, that image it has been carved. Okay, we don't know what is the exact meaning of this. Okay, two images are there. Now, next temple format is Cholan temples. When it comes to the Cholan temple, in the Cholan temples, okay, there are many important features of the Cholan temple. Okay, almost the same Dravidian features, whatever we talked about earlier. Okay, the same features are part of this. And here we have some mandapas which are constructed in chariot format. New things. Okay, only new things I am talking about. Okay, new things. Palawan, there is no chariot kind of mandapa. Here, mandapas are constructed in chariot format. First time they were the ones who started this. And there are temple tanks. Okay, and the most important temple is Brihadishwaralaya. Brihadishwaralaya, and it has the tallest Vimana in India, 200 feet. Okay, 200 feet, the Vimana's height is 200 feet. 200 feet. And along with that, the other important temples are Chidambaram, Gangaikonda Cholapuram, and Airavateshwar Temple. Chidambaram, Gangaikonda Cholapuram, and Airavateshwara Temple. Okay, three temples are there: Chidambaram, Gangaikonda Cholapuram, and Airavateshwara Temple. When it comes to these temples, okay, see, in Dravidian style, this is common. The base of the temple, okay, usually the base of the temple, it is constructed with a complete stone. Then, as you move upward, we will use a stone plus brick mixture. Okay, and the top of the shikara is the top of the Vimana is completely constructed with the help of brick. Stone plus brick, and complete brick. So this is how it is constructed, because in order to reduce the weight on the central sanctum sanctorum. Okay, if the entire structure is built in stone, then automatically the weight of the structure will become too high for the base to hold on to it. So that's the reason why as you go higher, the lighter material is preferred for harder material. But even though the top is made with brick, okay, on top, Vimana is made with brick, on top we place the shikara, that is the octagonal stone. Okay, but this octagonal stone, that is shikara, is always made with stone. Okay, this is very important. And for Gangaikonda Cholapuram, it became a practical problem, because if you construct the top with brick, then placing a stone shikara on top, okay, that shikara was very heavy. Okay, it was somewhere around some 20-30 tons the shikara was. And if you try to pull it by standing on the bricks, then naturally it will break the bricks. Are you getting it? Okay, so in order to transport this octagonal shikara onto the top of the temple, what they did is they constructed a huge ramp. And this ramp, okay, it went on till nearly 3 or 4 villages. Okay, from there they rolled the shikara and they placed it on the top of the temple. Okay, and it has the highest Vimana in India, 200 feet high Vimana it is there. Brihadishwaralaya, which is also known as the Rajaraja Chola Temple. Okay, it is also known as Rajaraja Chola Temple, very prominent temple of Chola architecture. It is present in Tanjore. Okay, Tanjore it is present in. It is present in a place called Tanjore. And one more important element which was started by them is the aspect of Dev Coast. Okay, Dev Coast is the bracketed niche. I have shown it in Khajuraho already. Okay, the same thing in Dravidian style, bracketed niche is started by Cholans. They will ask these kind of questions. Dev Coast is started by which of the following ruling dynasties? Okay, so this way they will ask questions. So Dev Coast, it started with the Cholans, and they also started constructing separate pavilion for Nandis. Nandi pavilion. Okay, usually the temple has Shiva in center, Garbhagriha, and outside there will be a small mandapa kind of structure where the Nandi is placed. So that is known as separate Nandi pavilion. And they also constructed numerous huge monolithic sculptures called Nandis. Huge monolithic Nandi sculptures they have built, and they have Maha Mandapa, Ardha Mandapa, Dwarapalas, and 1000 pillared mandapa. This is one new feature that they added. Okay, write it down. 1000 pillared mandapas. It's not given there. 1000 pillared mandapa. But you need not count. Okay, there will not be 1000 anywhere. Okay, a mandapa with many pillars is called 1000 pillared mandapa. That's it. There will not be really 1000 pillars. Okay, 1000 pillared mandapa, Ardha Mandapa, Maha Mandapa, huge monolithic sculptures of Nandi, Nandi pavilion, Dev Coast. Okay, all of these are present. And of these temples, okay, 3 temples are part of UNESCO World Heritage Site. That is Brihadishwaralaya is one. Then Airavateshwar Temple is the second one. And third one is Gangaikonda Cholapuram Temple, I think. 1 second. Okay, Bridishwara Temple. Okay, Gangaikonda Cholapuram, Tanjore, and Airavateshwara Temple. Okay, the Airavateshwara Temple is part of a place called Darasuram. These three are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. These three are put together, given UNESCO World Heritage Site tag. Okay, this is the image of Vimana of this temple. Okay, Vimana. See this Vimana, and this is the octagonal shikara I am talking about. Okay, the ramp which has been constructed for its sake. It was rolled and placed on top of this. Okay, very, very prominent one. And these are the Gopras. Are you able to see the Gopras? Okay, these are the Gopras. Sometimes this kind of Vimana is constructed on subsidiary shrines too. Because every temple has subsidiary shrines to it. Okay, on top of that also shikaras are usually constructed. Okay, these are mandapas, flat roof structures. Are you getting this? Okay, so this is the Cholan architecture, and the Brihadishwaralaya is the most prominent one of all these things. Okay, which is present in Tanjore, and they also had land rights in Sri Lanka too. What the king used to do is he used to go and take over the lands in Sri Lanka and submit them to God, because he used to say that I am ruling in the name of God. And the Shiva format, which is represented in this Brihadishwaralaya, is known as Tripurantaka Shiva. Very important. Tripurantaka Shiva. Okay, Tripurantaka means the person, the Shiva who is a destroyer of 3 cities. Tripura Antaka. Pura means town. Okay, they can ask this question too. Okay, with respect to ancient India, the term Tripurantaka refers to Lord Shiva, Vishnu. Okay, so this way also they can give a question, because culturally it is very important. Tripurantaka. Okay, format of Shiva. And in the Brihadishwaralaya, even the 63 Nayanars, their images were depicted in the temple complex. 63 Nayanar images are also depicted. And next important temple is Chidambaram. And in Chidambaram, we have a cart-like mandapa. Cart-like mandapa, Ratha format. And from the time of Chidambaram, the Gopurams started becoming as tall as Vimanas. Okay, so Gopurams started becoming as tall as Vimanas. Earlier, Gopuras are smaller structures. But slowly what happened is the Gopura's size, it kept on increasing. And they became equivalent to the size of the Vimana. Okay, but later day, under the Vijayanagara Empire, the Gopuras became taller than the Vimanas. You see it in Virupaksha temple. Okay, and many other temples of Vijayanagara Empire also, the Gopuras are taller than the Vimana. The entrance gateways are bigger than the inside temple Vimana. Okay, so that is the case. So they became equal to the size of Vimanas. And the temple has a massive colonnaded prakara. Colonnaded prakara means pillared prakara. Okay, you might have seen in movies. Okay, usually people, they walk around the temple in a colonnaded prakara. Okay, so this is the Chola temples. It includes 3 temples. This Airavateshwara temple, it is known as Karakkoil. Okay, Karakkoil. Because this entire temple is constructed in a chariot format, just like Konark. Just like Konark, this Airavateshwara temple is also constructed in a chariot format. And the unique aspect of this temple is there are singing steps in this temple. Okay, if you walk on them, they will give sound in the terms of a musical note. Okay, musical note, singing steps are there. Okay, this is stone, making the stone sing is a unique aspect of Indian temples. There are many temples, right? Okay, even in Belur, okay, if you hit at a corner, then it will give a music. Here, if you walk on these things, it will give a music. In Hampi also, now they are making one mandapa. Okay, this mandapa earlier also was used to produce music. Okay, in Hazararama temple, they are constructing a mandapa. Okay, they are reconstructing the mandapa in the same format. Okay, so this is the story of Airavateshwara temple, singing steps. Okay, and you write one point there in the end. It comes to Pandyan temples. Okay, Pandyan temples. Pandya. After Chola, there is Pandya rule. And when it comes to Pandyan temples, what they did is they mainly added Gopuras to older temples. Mainly added Gopuras to older temples. And the main temples under Pandyan period are the Madurai Meenakshi temple, and Arangantar temple at Srirangam. Arangantar temple in Srirangam. Ranganta Temple and Madurai Meenakshi Temple. They are constructed during the Pandyan period. Same thing, sir. Exactly the same as Cholas, but they started adding Gopuras. That's it. Okay, to older temples also they started adding Gopuras. So that is the Pandyan rule contribution. Not very significant. Okay, very weak contribution they had. Okay, they're not very significant people. They're very weak rulers. So this is the story of Pandyas. And next we move to, okay, these are the singing steps. And this is the temple which has been constructed in chariot format. You can see the chakras there. Okay, this is the Airavateshwar temple. Airavateshwar temple is very well known for the bronze sculptures. Okay, you write it down. Airavateshwar temple is famous for bronze sculptures. Bronze sculptures. Shiva. Shiva. Okay, so this finishes the Dravida style. Vijayanagara I will discuss after Vesara, because Vijayanagara is a mixture of Dravida and Vesara style. So Vesara style we will talk about. Vesara, the term Vesara means mule. Okay, as mule is a cross between horse and donkey, this style is also a cross between, okay, the Nagara and Dravida style. Nagara and Dravida style. And this style, okay, I have first given the examples of the style, then I'll talk about the features, okay, because it is a little distinct style. Okay, it is a little distinct style. And the important aspect of this Vesara style is there is no homogeneity for this school. You write at the top itself. There is no homogeneity in this school. No homogeneity. Okay, each place the features are different. Each place the features are different. Okay, and this school first it was used by Ikshvakus in their construction of early temples. You remember Nagarjuna Konda and Dharanikota. So they used this style to construct their early temples. Then after that, okay, this style was taken over by these rulers called Chalukyas of Badami. Chalukyas of Badami. And okay, they experimented with this style in Aihole, Badami and Pattatakal. Three places. Aihole, Badami and Pattatakal. And what they did is they freely used, you write this line down, they freely used both Nagara and Dravida construction styles. Nagara and Dravida construction styles, and there was no syncretism between them. It means that some temples they constructed in Nagara style, some others they constructed in Dravida style, but they never tried to synchronize them. Syncretism is not seen. Okay, either Nagara or Dravida. Okay, either Nagara or Dravida, but not a syncretic style. Okay, during Chalukyas of Badami. Next ruling dynasty is Rashtrakutas. They also did the same thing. The last one is Chalukyas of Kalyani, and under Chalukyas of Kalyani, the syncretic aspect of the Vesara style it developed. Syncretic aspect. You write this down. Syncretic aspect it developed. And the main temples that they built are the Doddabasappa temple at Dombal and Mahadev temple at Itagi. Okay, Itagi Mahadev temple and Doddabasappa temple, which is present in Dombal. Okay, both of them are in Karnataka, right? Okay, Itagi and Dombal. So these are proper syncretism between Nagara and Dravida style it developed here. Then after that, the next style is Yadava style, which is also known as Hemadpanthi style. I already talked about this. They are flat roofed structures with thick walls, flat roofed, thick wall and thick pillar structures. Thick pillar, thick wall structures, which is known as Hemadpanthi style of Yadavas of Devagiri. Devagiri is Deogad. Okay, Deogad or Devagiri means the same thing. Okay, Devagiri or Deogad. Then the next one is Kakatiyas. Okay, Kakatiyas are very popular, very important now. Okay, because this year it has been given. Next 2-3 years there might be a question. Warangal. Kakatiyas of Warangal. Their capital is at Warangal. Kakatiyas at Warangal. It's also known as Orgalu, and they constructed some temples, like 1,000 Pillar Temple is one. Second one is Ramappa Temple, and they also had some smaller temples in the Warangal Fort. Okay, Ramappa, 1,000 Pillar Temple. 1,000 Pillar Temple is present at a place called Hanmakonda. Ramappa Temple is at Palampet. You remember Palampet, important. Palampet is important. You put a star mark there. Ramappa Temple, because that particular site has been designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So this year there has been designation of some important sites from India as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. One is Dholvira, the second one is Ramappa, and is there anything else? Only two. Remember them to be three. I think there is something else too. Okay, I don't remember exactly what it is, but I remember it to be three. But let's check. Okay, let's wait and let's see. Now, this temple is known as Dramapa Temple, which is present at Palampet. Palampet, we'll talk about that. This year in a prelim paper, there was a question on Dolvira. So next year, they might ask a question on this place. Okay, next one is Hoysalas. Hoysalas of Halebeed and Belur. We'll discuss about their style too. Hoysalas of Halebeed and Belur. These are the examples for the temples and the features of the Vesara style. See, there is no homogeneity for this style. First and foremost, when it comes to the key features of this style, one is it is a mule style or cross style. Mule or cross style it is called. And these temples, they are constructed in apsidal plan. Okay, apsidal plan. Half ellipse format, they are constructed in apsidal plan. And the ornamentation of these temples is in Nagara style. Ornamentation is in Nagara style, whereas structure is in Dravida style. Structure is Dravida, ornamentation is Nagara. Ornamentation is Nagara. Then, these temples, they have this tower which is known as hybrid tower. Hybrid tower means that they have this pyramidal shape, but the pyramidal shape is made with curvilinear sides. Okay, they have pyramidal shape. Unlike the Nagara Shikara, they have a pyramidal shape. But this pyramidal shape is made with curved walls. That is the reason why it is a unique style. Okay, called Vesara. It mixes both of them. That's the reason why it is called as a hybrid tower. Curvilinear sides in a pyramidal vimana. And the base plan of this style is also stellate. Okay, apart from apsidal, there are also temples in stellate format. Stellate format. And one more important feature is they have this multi-garbhagriha format. It's not given there right now. Multi-garbhagriha format. Okay, which is known as Dvikuta, Trikuta, Panchakuta. Okay, multiple garbhagrihas will be there in the temple. Multiple garbhagrihas will be there in the temple complex. Not one, but 3-4 garbhagrihas will be there. And on each garbhagriha, there will be a shikara. Okay, there will be a shikara on each garbhagriha. Are you getting this? Okay. Now, if you see this, this pillar, this school, it has this unique aspect called molded pillars. Molded pillars means the pillars which are very finely finished. Okay, very good pillar structures are there. Okay, if you go to Halebeed and Belur also, you'll be able to see this kind of pillars, right? Okay, one more is Somnathpura. That is also a temple which has been constructed during the time of Hoysalas. So they have these pillars called molded pillars, which are very finely carved pillars. Finely carved pillars are known as molded pillars, and they also follow this technique of decorated ceilings. You know decorated ceilings, right? Okay, molded pillar means finely carved pillars. Finely carved pillars are known as molded pillars. So these are the important features. Now if you see, okay, I think these are the features of Hoysala temple. You write that. Okay, it's not just features of Hoysala temple. When it comes to the features of Hoysala temple, okay, Hoysala temples have an elaborate treatment of exterior. It means that the exterior of the temple is thickly carved. Thickly carved, okay, every inch of the temple in the exterior, okay, is carved. It's carved. This is important. Elaborate treatment of exterior. And it has a pradakshina path without a roof. Yes? It has a pradakshina path without a roof. Write it down. Pradakshina path. It's given there, right? Pradakshina path without a roof. And they have carvings on ceilings in few cases. Okay, in Halebeed and Belur, both the places you will see the carvings on ceiling. Okay, ceiling pay, the carvings are so elaborate. Okay, in fact, there is an inverted Shivalinga on the ceiling. Inverted Shivalinga on the ceiling. So that way they are elaborately carved. Then apart from that, they have this multiple shikaras, which is known as Trikuta format. Okay, Trikuta format. And they have this horizontality on the sculptures. Okay, horizontality means what is? Okay, let's suppose you take any temple. It has a band of sculpture on the exterior. Okay, the best example is the elephant in procession. Okay, in Halebeed and Belur, there are elephants which are shown in procession, okay, one after the other, and all the elephants are different from one another, and they are all present in an horizontal line on the temple wall. This is what is known as horizontality in decoration. Horizontality in decoration, and they follow this technique of horizontality in decoration. And apart from horizontality, okay, they have intricate moldings on and projections on the plinth and wall. Okay, moldings and projections on the plinth and wall. Earlier we talked about the molded pillars. Now molding on plinth and wall. Okay, plinth and wall pay, you have moldings and projections. So usually they look this way. Okay, let's suppose. Okay, let's suppose this is the ceiling. Let's suppose this is the ceiling. Okay, this is the base wall. This is the top wall, and this is the extension, right? Yes. Okay, this will be intricately decorated in this format. Okay, it will be molded. Okay, molding means it will be curved. Okay, it will be curved and it will be intricately decorated. Even the walls, for that matter, they will have molding. Okay, they will have molding. Okay, do you know about this word called cornice? No? No? Okay, I'll talk about it later too, but they are, okay, just remember the word, intricate moldings and projections on plinth and wall, and they are constructed on high platform. And they also have the same kind of wedding cake prettiness. Okay, I'll show you the image. So these are the temples. These are the temples. Okay, this temple is, okay, which are these temples? Can you name them? Which is Halebedu and which is Belur? No, this is Belur and this is Halebedu. Okay, this is Belur and this is Halebedu. Can you see the horizontality of images? Yes, around the temple wall, you have the same horizontal image. Okay, we have Dev coasts also similar to this thing. Okay, niche structures. Then along with that, okay, you have smaller structures. Okay, just like Mahabodhi temple. Okay, the smaller shikaras are there. Okay, then along with that, this latticed windows are there. Okay, you can write it down. Latticed windows are also there. Latticed windows. And okay, you see the edge of this. Okay, the edge of this plinth. It is intricately molded and ornamented. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? Molding and ornamenting, molding of the plinth. Okay, so this is how the temples have been constructed, and the best example is Somnathpura, Halebedu, and Belur. Okay, Somnathpur, Halebedu, and Belur. There is a good possibility of a prelims question on this. Raised platform, and they have a structure which is known as stellate plan. Are you able to see the stellate plan? Okay, stellate plan they have. Stellate plan. So this is the story of Halebedu and Belur. The next one is Ramappa Temple. It's not included in the slide. You have to write it down. Okay, I forgot to do it yesterday. Ramappa Temple. When it comes to this Ramappa Temple, it is present at a place called Palampet, and they also have all the typical Vesara features. Okay, and all of them are Trikutalayas, same thing. Okay, you write Kakatiya style, and in bracket you write Ramappa Temple. Kakatiya style, Ramappa Temple. Okay, Ramappa Temple of Kakatiya style. First is all of them are Trikutalayas. Okay, and the temples are Ramappa Temple at Palampet, 1000 Pillar Temple at Hanmakonda. And the third one is in Warangal. There is a Swayambunatha Temple. Swayambunatha Temple is present in here. Okay, Swayambhu Temple. Zoom. If I zoom too much, then I have to keep it moving. Are you able to see this now? Okay, Ramappa, 1000 Pillar Temple at Hanmakonda, and Swayambhu Ananda Temple. Okay, and they also constructed numerous Toranas. This is a very important idea. Kirti Torana. You just write the word Kirti Torana, you'll be able to understand everything else. Kirti Torana. And the most important aspect of these temples is they are constructed in an earthquake resistant format. And they used a technique which is known as sandbox technology. This is the most important aspect of these temples, sandbox technology. Sandbox, earthquake resistant. Okay, what is the sandbox technology? They'll usually construct the temples on a high platform, just like all other Vesara style. But in this high platform, in the interior of this high platform, they will not fill it with either stone or rubble. What they do is they will pour sand into this raised platform, and on this sand the temple is constructed. So whenever there is a earthquake, okay, the sand will get adjusted automatically. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Okay, the sand will get adjusted because the earthquake waves, they will just move the sand up and down. And let's suppose if the sand is moved up naturally because it is sand, it will easily get adjusted with itself. Are you getting this? So this is what is known as sandbox technology. And today they are also planning to construct the Ayodhya temple with the same format. Okay, so that the Ayodhya temple will last even if India is destroyed. Okay, even if India goes, temple should stand. Okay, so that's why they are building. That's why they're using the same technique called sandbox technology. Sandbox technology, and they also used this one more technique called iron dowel technique. Iron dowel technique. Iron dowel technique, what they do is, see, when they are constructing the temple, okay, when they place the bricks, okay, they will make a hole to the brick. Okay, hole to the bricks, and all the holes will be in linearity. And at the end of placing the bricks, what they do is they pour molten metal into the holes, so that the bricks will get permanently attached with each other and they will not move from the place. Are you getting this? This is known as iron dowel technology. So these two techniques they have used in order to make a temple which is earthquake resistant. Okay, because Telangana at that point of time, maybe it had more number of earthquakes. Okay, more number of earthquakes. That's the reason why, in order to save the temples from earthquakes, okay, they constructed the temple with sandbox technology is one, and the second one is this iron dowel technique. Iron dowel technique. Okay, this is very important. And they also had a separate Nandi Mandap. Okay, and every temple it has a tank, temple, and town. Okay, tank, temple, and town. These are the three formats: tank, temple, town format. Tank, temple, town format. They used, and they have a Nandi Mandap, right? And they also have the same stellate plan. Okay, next point is stellate plan. Okay, then stone plus brick construction style. Stone plus brick construction style. Base is stone. Superstructure is brick. Okay. See, this is one more unique aspect of this temple is, okay, these bricks are made in a format, they are so lightweight that they will float in water. Okay, the bricks are so well made that they float in water. Okay, this is one, right? It is burnt brick only, but they are made with a kind of sand which doesn't sink in water. They are so lightweight. They are so lightweight and they are so well burnt. Okay, only if they are well burnt, then only they will have a lot of air inside them. So then they will float in water. So this is floating bricks is one more important aspect of this thing. Floating bricks. Okay, but once Indians got to know that these bricks float, okay, everyone who went to the temple, they started picking out one brick, okay, and they destroyed one shikara of one temple completely. Okay, all the bricks are dragged out. Everyone was checking and taking some pieces of the brick also to home, okay, to prove to everyone that I was there. Okay, so these kind of things were done. Okay, so this is very important. Then Ramappa temple is the same shape. The temple is made of stone. Okay, then this temple is decorated with, okay, 12 mandakinis. Okay, this is one important idea. 12 mandakinis used to decorate the temple. 12 mandakinis. So even in Belur also, on top niche, okay, you have the image of various dancing styles of women. Yes, okay, dancing styles. There are women who belongs to Naga Jati. There are women who belong to the tribals. So these kind of images are there, right? Similar way here also in black granite, okay, there are 12 images of the mandakinis, okay, which is very important. And one more thing is, these temple walls, they have a kind of dance form called Perni Shivatandava. Okay, Perni Shivatandava. Perni Shivatandava is the dance form which is depicted on the walls of this temple. Perni Shivatandava. It is also known as Prerana. Okay, Perni Shivatandava. P-R-I-N-I. Perni Shivatandava. In fact, it is a war dance of Kakatiyas. It is a war dance of Kakatiyas. War dance of Kakatiyas. See, at that point of time, in order to keep the morale high of the soldiers during war, okay, during war, morale of the soldiers should be kept high, otherwise the soldier will run away from the battlefield. So what they used to do is, they used to take up some cultural activities. Okay, these cultural activities are like dances. Okay, this is a war dance of Kakatiyas, which is known as Perini Nrutyam or Perini Shivatandavam. Okay, Perini Shivatandavam it is called. Okay, and it is the state dance of Telangana state today. Okay, now Telangana state dance is Perini Shivatandava. Okay, just like Bharatanatyam is for Tamil Nadu, for Telangana state, Perini Shivatandava is the official dance form. Okay, and they also have developed water harvesting structures. This can be asked as a mains question. Water harvesting structures developed water harvesting structures they had. And okay, see the pillars are so well made, okay, that they reflect light. Okay, the pillars are so well made that they reflect light. And see the central sanctum sanctorum, Garbhagriha. Okay, even without any light, artificial light, it will be illuminating during the daytime. Okay, the 4 pillars are made in such fashion that during morning time, the light will be reflected from one pillar. During afternoons, one more pillar will reflect the light. Okay, during night time or evening time, one more pillar will reflect the light. So this way the temple was made. So natural lighting system was also used. Okay, so these things are important. So this is the story of the Kakatiya temple. Okay, Kakatiya temple at Ramappa. Just remember some key terms and rest of the things you can forget. Okay, this is the Ramappa temple image. Okay, flat roof mandapa, Garbhagriha. Okay, this is the brick structure. This is the stone structure. Okay, here you can see some black images, right, on the niches. Okay, these are the Mandakini images. Okay, on these edges. Okay, a total 12 number. Star-like pattern, same like Hoysalas, because all of them are contemporaries. All of them are contemporaries. So that's the reason why they had the same construction style. Okay, next one is the Virupaksha temple. Where is this Virupaksha temple present? No, there is one more Virupaksha temple. Pattadakal. Okay, Pattadakal. This Virupaksha temple is in Pattadakal. You write this name down. Pattadakal Virupaksha temple. This is Pattadakal Virupaksha temple. And it has been constructed in a Dravida style. Are you seeing the pyramidal structure with Shikara? There is no element of curvature on the sides. Okay, this is constructed in Dravida style. In Dravida style. Okay, so this is Vesara style for us. In Vesara style, mainly we discussed about the features of Vesara, and only 2 examples we discussed elaborately where there is a possibility of a mains question. Rest of the things I have just given examples. Okay, so these are the features of Vesara temple style, and these are the examples of Vesara temple style. Who? That is a story, but there is no authentication for that. Okay, in fact, there are some images of Africans and Europeans on the temple walls. Okay, it's said that he has visited, okay, but there is no concluding evidence for that. Okay, there is no concluding evidence for that. Marco Polo. Now, the next one is the Vijayanagara or Provida style. Okay, this is the style of our own state, Karnataka. Okay, so it is a very, very important style, and it is in fact an intermixture between Dravida and Vesara style. Dravida and Vesara style. Okay, both of them they got intermixed and they emerged out as this Vijayanagara style. Very, very prominent style of South India. Vijayanagara style, and in this style, it is also called as Provida. This word is very important. Provida style means Vijayanagara style. Along with that, it also has taken some inspiration from the Islamic architecture too. Islamic architecture. From Cholas they have taken the Dravida construction style. From Hoysalas they have taken Vesara. Okay, from Islamic architecture they have taken the inspiration. Okay, 3 places they have taken inspiration from. That is a mixed style. It is a mixed style. See, in the initial stages of the empire of Vijayanagara, they depended exclusively on Vesara style. But as the empire got extended to Tamil regions, they were inspired by the Tamil construction style of Dravida. Okay, so they brought this Dravida style to Karnataka and they started making most of the temples in this Dravida style. Okay, that is the story of this Vijayanagara style of temples. And here we have both secular architecture and religious architecture. Okay, secular and religious architecture, both of them we need to focus upon. When it comes to the religious architecture, the most important temples are the Virupaksha temple at Hampi, which is constructed in Dravida style. Then the second one is the Veerabhadra Swami temple at Lepakshi. Okay, very, very prominent one. UPSC has asked a question on the Veerabhadra Swami Temple. Okay, Veerabhadra Swami Temple at Lepakshi, they asked a question. This is also a temple which is built on in Dravida style. And the third temple is Hazara Rama Temple. Hazara Rama Temple, okay, which is also present as part of the Hampi city. And the next one is Vittala Temple. Vittala Temple is completely constructed in Vesara style. Okay, Vittala is none other than Vithoba. Okay, the same person. Okay, so Hazara Rama Temple in Dravida style. Hazara Rama also in Dravida style. Only Vittala Temple is completely constructed in Vesara style. Hazara Rama is also Dravida. So these are the important temples of Vijayanagara Empire. Important temples. Then when it comes to the secular architecture, secular line, okay, primarily in secular line, most important is the Vijayanagara style way. There is a fortification. 7-layered fortification. It's not given there, you write it down. 7-layered fortification is one important secular architecture. 7-layered fortification. Second one is elephant stables. Third one is the entrance gates. Fourth is the mosques. Fifth is Maharnavami Dibba. And sixth is Lotus Mahal. Maharnavami Dibba, Lotus Mahal, mosques, entrance gates, and elephant stables. And elephant stables. So all of them are important. Okay, all of them are important. Elephant stables, Lotus Mahal, entrance gates, mosques, Maharnavami Dibba. Okay, and the most important aspect is the city planning. City planning of this Hampi city. The city planning of Hampi city is the most important aspect. Okay, and about the city planning, see, Hampi was a lost city in India. Okay, after the battle of what is it called? Rakshas Tangeri. Okay, Talikota. Okay, or it is also known as the Battle of Banhati. Okay, after this battle, the city of Hampi was forgotten by the outside world. No one knew about this city. This city was completely lost. And it is a British administrator by the name of Colin Mackenzie who for the first time excavated the city of Hampi. Colin Mackenzie is given. Okay, Colin Mackenzie, he excavated this city of Hampi and he is the first surveyor general of India. This is important. He is the first surveyor general of India. And after that, there is also one more person called Robert Sewell. Robert Sewell. He was the one who made the city of Vijayanagara famous across the world, not just in India. Okay, across the world, he made the city of Vijayanagara famous, and he wrote a book called The Forgotten Empire. The Forgotten Empire is the book which he has published in the year 1900, and it talked about the glory of Vijayanagara Empire, how it declined and stuff. So it is a very, very important book. Okay, Forgotten Empire. Next one is, okay, if you see the Hampi city, okay, when it comes to the city planning of Hampi, the Hampi city is divided into broadly three zones: Royal Center, Sacred Center, okay, and Urban Core. Urban Core, Sacred Center, and Royal Center. 3-part division of the city is usually made. Sacred Center is the place where the Virupaksha temple is present. Royal Center is the place where most of the palaces, okay, Maharnavami Dibba, Lotus Mahal, these kind of things are present in the Royal Center. Whereas the third one is Urban Core. Urban Core has the residences of common people, and apart from common people, it also had the residences of merchants, craftsmen, traders, and all the markets of Vijayanagara state. They are present in Urban Core. They are present in Urban Core, and it is not a simple temple. Okay, I told you already. This is a city which is an archaeological city, not one temple. This is an archaeological city, and these 3 junctions were surrounded by nearly 7 layers of fortification. This is very important. 7-layer fortified city it's called. Okay, Abdur Razak, he says that. Abdur Razak is a foreign traveler, Persian, who came to Vijayanagara Empire, and he talks about this 7-layered fortification. And Domingo Pace, okay, the second important foreign traveler, he also talked about this 7-layered fortification. Okay, UPSC is very much interested in Vijayanagara Empire. That too, foreign travelers accounts, it is more interested. This year in preliminary, there was a question. There was a question on the women wrestlers. Okay, who made an observation on women wrestlers? Okay, there was a question. So similarly, so they can ask a question on Abdur Razak and Domingo Pace, both of them. They talked about the 7-layer fortification for Vijayanagara Empire. So these are the 7 layers of fortification. Okay, and this city is siege proof. Okay, you write this word, siege proof. They made the city as siege proof. Siege proof. Okay, because in medieval times, siege is an important element in war. Okay, siege is an important element in war, where let's suppose, okay, CIG, siege proof, PROOF, siege proof. So in medieval times, what used to happen? Okay, fort is an important element of defensive protection. But whenever a city has a fort, the enemies, what they used to do is they used to cut the supplies to the fort completely. Because of which, okay, the people who are inside, okay, 6 months, 8 months, they will have some supplies. But after 8 months, at least they will run out of food. And after they run out of food, they are forced to open the doors of the fort. Are you following this? So that is the reason why siege is an important instrument of war during medieval times. And Vijayanagara Empire or the Hampi city is based on the concept of if an enemy comes and seizes the city, okay, even if he stays outside the walls for 10 years, we are not going to get defeated. Because what we are going to do is we are going to have lakes, okay, we are going to have lakes inside the fortification itself, and we also are going to have agricultural feeds inside the fortification. So that is the reason why from the wall number 3 to wall number 7, okay, wall number 3 to wall number 7, the entire region is just agricultural land. Just agricultural land. Agricultural land is also fortified in order to become siege proof. Then they can keep producing their own food. They have their water in tanks. They will keep consuming the water, and how many ever days the enemy waits outside, he will not be able to breach the fort. Are you getting this? See, fortification is a very, very important thing. Not only in India, in Western world too. In Western world too, and before the invention of cannons, it is impossible to breach a fort. And you can breach a fort only at enormous amount of casualties on your side. Because the person who is inside the fort, he will have better defenses. Are you getting this? He will have better defense. And before the invention of gunpowder and cannon, breaching a fort was a very difficult job. But once cannon and gunpowder were developed, fort breaching became easy. Because they created powerful cannons. With the cannons' help, they were able to breach the fort walls. And once the fort walls are breached, it is easy to enter into the fort and kill the enemy. Are you getting this? So fortification is one important idea here. So this way they have constructed, and this Hampi city, it also has a elaborate water system. Okay, elaborate water flow system. It has elaborate water flow system with the help of wells, drains, and channels. Wells, drains, and channels. They have a elaborate water drainage system. It's given there, right? Okay, so in fact they have stone pipes. Stone pipes. If you go to Vijayanagara, Hampi city, you will be seeing them. There are stone pipes, okay, because they don't have plastic or wood. What they did is they made pipes with the help of stone. Okay, half stones with a groove is known as this stone pipe. Okay, stone pipes they developed. So they had this kind of thing too. Okay, and this is the chariot. Okay, famous chariot at Hazararama Temple. Okay, in Hampi, and this is the Virupaksha Temple. This is the Virupaksha Temple, and see this. By the time of Vijayanagara Empire, the Gopuras, they became taller than the Vimana. They became taller than the Vimana, and these large Gopuras are known as Raya Gopurams. Raya Gopurams are large Gopuram structures. Raya Gopuram. Raya Gopuras. It's given there. Okay, unique features of Vijayanagara architecture I have given. Okay, this is the famous Lotus Mahal, and this is the Mandapa of Hazararama Temple. Hazararama Temple ka Mandapa this is. Okay, I'll talk about the features. Okay, these are the elephant stables. Okay, I'll talk about them too. So now we'll see the features first and then we'll move. Okay, we'll see the features and then we'll move. Is this slide not included? It's there, right? Okay. So this was, I think, in the year 2018. Okay, they asked a question on this. Kalyan Mandapa. Okay, that year, I think there were somewhere around some 22 questions from history in preliminary. 22 questions were there. Okay, and nearly some 15-16 questions were directly from class notes. Okay, very good year for our students. Okay, but I don't know whether they have studied enough to answer those questions, but I can very clearly show those answers in my slides or class notes. Okay, definitely it was there. And this was also asked as a question. Kalyana Mandapa was first introduced by which of the following empires? Which of the temple construction style has Kalyana Mandapa as a unique feature. It is Vijayanagara. Vijayanagara Empire is the one which started the practice of constructing Kalyana Mandapas associated with temples. Okay, Kalyana Mandapa. In TTD also we have Kalyana Mandapa. Yes. So Kalyana Mandapa as a style, it started here. And along with that, okay, there is one more Mandapa, you write it down, called Vasanta Mandapa. Vasanta Mandapa. It is an open-topped Mandapa. Open-topped Mandapa. And the second style that they started is this Amman shrine, constructing Amman shrine. Means that a temple for the mother goddess. Within the temple complex, the wife of the chief deity. Let's suppose Shiva is there. Virupaksh is Shiva. Okay, Virupaksh's wife is Parvati. So for Parvati, they started constructing Amman shrine. And there is also this tradition called hard stone tradition. Here there is no soapstone. Halebid and Belur, both of them, they are based out of soapstone. That is the reason why carving was very easy. But here, it is based on hard stone tradition. Hard stone tradition. And they also use the same techniques of horizontal elaboration. There are mandaps called Rang Mandap, Garuda Mandap, Raya Goprams. Okay, Raya Goprams. And each pillar is a sculpture in its own right. Each pillar is a sculpture in its own right. Okay, and there is this copy called double flexure in cornice. Roof extensions may. You can see this. Double flexure in a cornice. Okay, this is what is known as a double flexure in cornice. Cornice is this roof extension. So in the roof extension, you have this kind of structure, which is known as double flexure. Are you getting the image of this thing? So double flexure in cornice is one more important thing. Then along with that, they also had this feature of, what is that feature? Okay, musical pillars. I think you understand this. Then they also have this corbels. Okay, corbels which are known as bracket extensions or pushpotika. I'll show you pushpotika. It's not very clearly shown here. Okay, not here, but in the other temple you can see. So here, these bracket extensions are there, right? So here there will be a horizontal projection this way, vertical projection this way, and here you have a flower kind of thing which is known as pushpotika. Okay, pushpotika, which is known as, just remember the term pushpotika. No one is going to show you the image and ask you to identify pushpotika. Just remember the word pushpotika. And there are also large monoliths which are associated with the temples. In fact, India's largest single sculpture, okay, single sculpture is the Nandi image, which is present at Lepakshi. Okay, Nandi image at Lepakshi is the largest monolith sculpture in India. Largest monolith sculpture in India is the Nandi monolith. It is 13 feet in height. That is not single stone. Largest monolith of India is this. Largest monolith of India is this. Okay, I'm 90% sure that Gomateshwara's image is not a monolith. It is assembled. Okay, I'm 90% sure. I'm not 100%, but I'll check it too. Okay, I'll also check it, but I'm 90% sure that it is not a single stone. Largest monolith of India is always this Lepakshi Nandi Temple. Lepakshi at Nandi Temple, it is 13 feet in height. 13 feet in height. Okay. Now, when it comes to the secular structures, okay, okay, I think the slide has not been included. You write it down. Secular architecture. Okay, please find some place and write secular architecture. In secular architecture, the most important ones are these elephant stables, which have alternate tribute and arcuate style. Alternate tribute and arcuate style. So tribute style is this temple style. Okay, here you can see the pyramidical structure is there, and immediately after the pyramidical structure there is a dome here. Okay, alternating tribute and arcuate style is one important idea here. This is arcuate, this is tribute again. Alternate tribute and arcuate styles is one unique element of the Vijayanagara style. Alternating tribute and arcuate style, and in this Lotus Mahal they have implemented the system of engrailed arches. You write the word engrailed arch. This is an arch structure, and the type of arch is known as engrailed arch. You know arch, right? Okay, arch, it looks this way. This is an arch. Okay, whereas an engrailed arch is the one which has It's kind of, okay, this way it will look like. Okay, this is what an engraved arch looks like. Okay, my drawing is unnecessary. Okay, it was clearly given here. Okay, this is engraved arch. Normal arch, it looks that way. Okay, this is engraved arch. So they implemented this in secular architecture itself. Okay, then their gateways are also made with the help of arch and dome. Write the word, gateways are made with arch and dome. Arch and dome based entrance gateways. Okay, and the next style is called as Nayaka style. Nayaka style. Nayakas are none other than the subordinates of Vijayanagara Empire. Okay, and they had huge temple complexes, continuation of the tradition of Gopuras, horizontal elaboration. The best example is Madurai Meenakshi Temple. They have prakara walls, sculptural embellishments, and here one important idea is their gopurams have this stucco statues. Okay, write it down. Gopurams have the statues made of stucco. Stucco statues on gopurams. Okay, stucco is nothing but it is like a lime, okay, or cement. So these kind of stucco statues are made on the gopurams. You might have seen, right? Okay, in most temples nowadays, the temples which are being constructed, on the temple walls you have cement structures as sculptures. Okay, at that point of time it was made with a lime, okay, which is known as stucco. So stucco images, not carved. These are not carved. They are just stucco. Okay, so this is the story of Nayakas, and this finishes the temple architecture in India. Temple architecture in India. Okay, I know that it has been very, very elaborate. Okay, many key terms are there. How you remember is your headache. Okay, but if you remember them logically, then you will be able to easily remember them. Okay, that is my suggestion. Try to remember as much logically as possible. Okay, try to remember them as much logically as possible. And this is where, okay, most probably they will not go beyond this. Okay, if they go beyond this, God save you. Okay, I can't help it. Okay, we have gone the farthest extent. Okay, even more is, in fact, it is stupid. Okay, because we will not be able to remember anyhow and replicate in the examination. So this is sufficient. Next one is Indo-Islamic architecture. Okay. Okay, I'll check it, sir. Then. Okay, I'll check it then. It's not the largest monolith. Okay, I'll check. Okay, I'll get back to you tomorrow, definitely. Now, the next one is called the Indo-Islamic architecture. We'll just discuss the features of Indo-Islamic architecture for today. Okay, and rest of the sections we'll deal with tomorrow. That is the regional styles, that is Delhi Sultanate, Mughal, okay, Bahmani. These things we'll discuss tomorrow. Today, just the broad features. Okay, just like we discussed the features of Nagara. Okay, just like we discussed the features of Dravida, the features we are going to discuss first. And in order to describe the features, I have given the image of Taj Mahal. Okay, Taj Mahal, I have given the image. Yes. Okay, you have the Taj Mahal image. Do your names also designated? Different structures names are also designated. That is very important image. Now, when it comes to Islamic architecture is known as arcuate style. It's called as arcuate style. It's called as arcuate style. Just like Trabeate style of India, Islamic architectural style is called arcuate style. And there are some key elements to arcuate style. Okay, one is arch. This is an arch. Second one is a dome. The second important feature is a dome. Arch, dome, and the third important feature is structure which is known as minar. Arch, dome, minar, okay, along with okay, pendentive, squinch, and mihrab. These are the key elements. Pendentive, squinch, and mihrab. I'll explain these three terms. I'll show them rather. Okay. So pendentive is nothing but, okay, are you seeing this? So this is an arch. This is an arch and this is a dome. You're getting this? This is an arch and this is a dome. And the link between the arch and dome, the region between the arch and dome is known as pendentive. Arch or dome के बीच में जो space होता है उसको pendentive कहते हैं. Now, okay, let's suppose, okay, if the arch is part of a broader building, rectangular building, let's suppose, okay, the connector between dome and the rectangular building is known as squinch. Okay, are you following this? Okay, squinch is the connector between, given it very clearly there. Squinch is the connection between dome on a square. Dome and square connection is known as squinch. Pendentive is dome and arch triangle is known as pendentive. Okay, you might be able to see this. Okay, in many of the tombs, mosques also. Okay, you find this. Okay, usually diamond shaped cuts will be there on the arch dome connection. Okay, just usually they also lead to very good acoustics too. If you clap in between them, they will usually lead to a resound. Okay, very good resound you will get. Okay, this is what is known as Gol Gumbaz. It is there. Okay, even Gol Gumbaz I didn't visit, but in Golconda it is there. Okay, Golconda it is used for communication. In fact, the sound it is so distinct and clear that you will be able to hear it from nearly 2.5 kilometers apart. Okay, if you clap at one place, it will be heard for 2.5 kilometers. It is used as a warning sign of a threat for the king. Okay, very, very good technique, acoustic technique. So here the triangular cuts are known as pendentives. Okay, whereas the edges where, let's suppose if the dome is placed on a square platform. If the dome is placed on a square platform, the connector between dome and the square. Okay, you will not be able to place a round thing on a square like properly. So naturally there is a need for some connector. That connector is known as squinch. Squinch and pendentive. Then apart from that, the third important one is this thing called mihrab. When it comes to mihrab, mihrab is nothing but it is a semicircular niche which is indicative of the direction of Kaaba. Okay, indicative of the direction of Makkah is known as squinch. Okay, sorry, mihrab. Usually in mosques, mihrab is there. Okay, on one side of the mosque there will be a niche. Okay, just like the Dev Coast. Here also there will be a niche, and wherever this niche is present, that is the direction of Makkah. So you have to pray turning to that direction. Okay, that is the meaning of this mihrab. And now if you see, when it comes to the Islamic architecture, okay, apart from these, they also use the technique of vaulted roof. Okay, vaulted roof technique, the same vaulted roof technique. And the Islamic architecture, it used a powerful binding agent which is known as lime plaster and gypsum. In India, prior to this, there was no binding agent between the stones. Okay, just the stones are corbelled together, and there was some stone or mud dust which is used to plaster the stones. But this mud dust and stone dust, they are very weak agents. They are not able to hold on to the wall. Okay, whenever there is a heavy rain, usually it used to lead to eroding away of the entire mud. Okay, then the wall will become very weak. So this was the problem. Whereas Islamic architecture, it used lime as a binding agent. Lime and gypsum, both of them are used as binding agents. Then they also used elaborate element of ornamentation. Ornamentation is elaborate, but in ornamentation there was no human form or animal form. Okay, animal or human form is not used in ornamentation. Standard is this, but there are many exceptions. Okay, particularly the Bahmani Sultanates and their successor states, all of them showed animal images on top of mosques. Okay, usually they resorted to this thing. But standard form is there should be no animal or human representation here. Okay, because the belief in Quran and in Islam is mainly that the purpose of creation, okay, or the sole authority to create is given to God. Humans should not replicate God in creating forms. So that is the reason why there is a ban on creating all kinds of human and animal figures. So ornamentation is there. Then usually these buildings have a lot of lightness and grace, and the constructions are made for congregational religion. Congregational religion means more number of people should come together and they should pray at one place. They should pray at one place. That is the reason why Islam is considered as a congregational religion. Even Christianity is a congregational religion. Okay, whereas in case of Hinduism, there is one-to-one relation with God. Okay, that's the reason why there is a narrow passageway. Okay, you have to travel alone inside. Okay, you can't even take your family. Okay, alone. So this narrow passageway is there, but here it is a congregational religion wherein people used to gather together and pray to God. So that is the reason why there are massive and extensive buildings are constructed with more number of open courtyards and portals. And these buildings, they show a lot of love for light and space. More amount of open space, more amount of lighting, okay, is focused here. Whereas Hindu temples, they are more dark. Okay, open spaces are smaller because of primarily the problem was the structures were made out of pillar, and pillar always is an obstruction in vision. Yes or no? Okay, if the classroom becomes a little bigger, then there is a need for a pillar in between, and pillar is an obstruction for vision. There is no large chambers which can be constructed without a pillar. Definitely you have to go for an arch. Okay, and in fact, one more idea here, arch, okay, is a very, very important tool in order to construct a building. And arch, it replaced beam, it replaced pillar, it replaced lintel, okay, beam, pillar, lintel, and it also replaced the corbelling technique. 4 things of Hindu architecture, they were replaced by a single element which is known as arch. Which is known as arch. Which is known as arch. Arch uses a very good balancing technique. Balancing technique. In fact, okay, the central stone of an arch is known as keystone. Okay, keystone. And arch has a distributed pressure system. Arch has a distributed pressure system. You write this term down. Arch typically bases upon a distributed pressure system. Distributed pressure system, which is capable of handling weight. It's capable of handling weight of the ceiling. It's capable of handling the weight of the ceiling. Whereas in Part-8 style, okay, pillar beam. Okay, pillar beam interface is the place where the weight falls. Yes, there is a single point of pressure. That is the reason why you can't think of a building which doesn't have or which is more open, because in center again you have to put a beam and pillar. Otherwise, the entire ceiling weight will come down and it will fall off. Are you following what I'm trying to say? Okay, there is a need for more number of pillars, because in pillar system there is no distribution of pressure, whereas in arch system usually the pressure is distributed along the course of arch. There is an equal distribution of pressure, and there is a keystone also in arch. So because of these factors, arch is always a better construction technique than the Part-8 pillar style. Okay, Part-8 pillar style say arch is a better construction technique, and only with the help of lime plaster arch can stand. Okay, it can't stand without this thing. Okay, that is a lime plaster. So this is the arch technique, so that they have developed. Open courtyards are there. Now, if you see the features, okay, see initially there were only very simple domes were constructed. Simple domes were constructed, but slowly, okay, the dome size, it has increased, and they became these domes which are known as bulbous domes. You might have seen this bulbous domes, right, which looks like a bulb. Okay, large domes which have a bulb shape. Taj Mahal is in fact a bulbous dome. Okay, then apart from that, okay, they also resorted to this technique of double dome construction. Double dome construction means, okay, what double dome does is, okay, let's suppose this is the interior. Okay, this is a dome. Okay, but internally, if you go into the building, if you look up, it will not look very pleasant, right? Because there is a huge hole on top. So what they started doing is they started constructing a ceiling here. This is a false ceiling they construct here, which is known as a double dome. Okay, and you can walk between the domes too. Are you understanding this? Okay, on top there will be a ceiling, false ceiling will be there. On top of it, the dome, actual dome will be there. Okay, this is known as a double doming structure they used, and there are also big arches which are known as four-centered arches or Tudor arch. They are called. Okay, arch means in this way, large arch. Okay, is known as a Tudor arch. Then there is engrailed arches. Already have drawn it. Okay, and I've shown it to you. Lotus Mahal, engrailed arch. Okay, that is one more feature. Then there are chetris. Okay, chetris I'll show you. Okay, this is chetri. Chetri is the smaller dome which is associated with the central dome. It's called chetri. It's called chetri. It is designated there. Just see, chetri. A domed and columned kiosk is known as chetri. Then apart from chetri, okay, minars are there. If the minar is not connected to central building, it is known as a minar. If it is connected to the central building, then it is known as turret. The turret is the connected minar of a building is known as a turret. Okay, it's given there. Yes. Okay. Bulbous dome, turrets and minarets. Turrets are minars connected to the building, whereas minars are independent from central building. Bulbous dome I already have down, and they are also based on this technique called rubble masonry with thick walls. Okay, not very important for us. Masonry technique is based on rubble masonry. Okay, just have a look at this building. Okay, so this is a onion dome or bulbous dome it is called. Okay, huge dome structure is there, and if you go into the inside, you will not see the entire hollowness on top. There will be a false ceiling. This false ceiling is known as the double dome. Are you following this? Then the dome is placed on a square platform. Which a square platform is there? So this a square platform and a dome, the linkage is known as a drum. There will be a drum which is cylindrical base of the onion dome. Cylindrical base of the onion dome is called as a drum. Then along with that, if you see, the building is constructed on a upraised base, and this is arch. Okay, this is in fact a very large arch. That is the reason why it is called as four-centered or Tudor arch. It is called Tudor arch. Okay, this is what arch looks like. Then along with arch, okay, this is also arch is also known as pishtak. Okay, the word pishtak is there. You write it down. Arch is also known as pishtak arch. Pishtak arch. Okay, see this. On top of dome, we have the inverted lotus decoration. Inverted lotus decoration. Inverted lotus decoration, and this is unique to India. This is in fact Indian influence on the construction. That is the lotus, inverted lotus structure, and we also have a finial. Finial is present, okay, on top. Okay, finial just like the Nagara temple. Now that is also Indian influence. There are also tall decorative spires which are known as guldastas. This is small projections, vertical projections are known as guldasta. Guldasta. Okay, and the space between this arch and this square shape is known as spandrel. Space between an arch and a rectangular enclosure is known as spandrel. It's known as spandrel, and this entire region has calligraphy. Calligraphy decoration, and the calligraphy decoration is usually done. Calligraphy is usually done with the help of a technique called arabesque technique. Arabesque technique, and the horizontal panels which are present close to the ground are known as dado panels. Dado panel. Dado panel is there. Dado, spandrel, calligraphy, guldasta, drum, drum, onion dome, finial, lotus decoration, chhatri, minarets, and arch. So these are the prominent elements of or features of Islamic architecture, Islamic architecture. So the decorative patterns and other things we are going to discuss tomorrow. Is this fine? Okay, those things we are going to discuss tomorrow. Let's see. Okay, what we'll be able to finish tomorrow. That's it for today. Thank you for your time.